Do you trust artificial intelligence to decide the fate of your relationship? What if I told you that AI is already influencing dating, marriages, and even the lives of singles in ways you can't even imagine? Imagine waking up one day and discovering that your partner is having a secret relationship with an AI. It sounds like a movie script, but this reality is closer than we think. Technology, which previously only served to facilitate our routine, is now increasingly present in our romantic relationships. Every day, new technologies emerge promising to make our lives easier. But what happens when? If you are single and think that AI is only for those in a relationship, think again. Apps like Tinder, Bumble, and even virtual assistants are using complex algorithms to show you who your ideal match might be. But what few people know is that these same algorithms can also leave you trapped in an endless cycle of superficial encounters. And if you're already in a relationship or even married, AI could be influencing your decisions without you even realizing it. Have you ever imagined letting an app decide when is the best time to discuss the relationship, or even whether to give a second chance? These days, it's not just singles who use technology to find love. Many couples are turning to AI to improve communication and resolve conflicts. And you? Have you ever asked an artificial intelligence for love advice? With AI advancing so quickly, many experts wonder if, in the future, we will still seek love naturally, or if everything will be mediated by technology. If today we already trust algorithms to tell us what to watch, what to eat, and even who to love, what will come next? Weddings organized by AI? Dating guided by apps that analyze every message exchanged? And the most frightening thing? Will we one day prefer the perfection of artificial intelligence to the unpredictable? Now tell me, do you trust AI to help you with love? Do you think technology can really find your soulmate, or is this just an illusion? Leave your comment and tell me if you have already used any AI tools in your relationships. And get ready, because what I'm going to show you next will completely change your view of the future of love. But, after all, where is true love in the midst of this technological revolution? Can AI really replace human connection? The butterflies in the stomach? The touch and the passionate look? The truth is, no matter how much technology advances, true love still lies in the little things. Artificial intelligence can be a powerful tool for facilitating connections, but it can never replace the human heart. She can even suggest a soulmate based on data, but she is not able to understand the complex and deep feelings that only time and coexistence can build. That's why it's so important that everyone is informed about how AI is influencing their love lives. Knowledge is the best way to avoid falling into digital traps, and always keep a critical eye on what technology is really offering. Even with AI, we can fall for scams. Will AI be able to identify scammers? If you also believe in the importance of always being updated about the impact of technology on your love life, then you are in the right place. Here on the channel, we are always bringing new and revealing content about how AI is shaping the future of dating, marriage, and even the lives of singles. Don't let algorithms decide your future in love without you knowing exactly what's happening. So leave your like to support this content, and if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel now. This way, you don't miss anything new. With the advancement of technology, artificial intelligence has become a constant presence in our lives. It is in our smartphones, in virtual assistants, in social media algorithms, and now, also in the way we experience love. What once seemed like science fiction is now reality. AI not only helps us find our ideal partner on dating apps, but also directly influences the way we relate to each other. Now close your eyes and imagine yourself in a scene. You are browsing a dating app, and instead of just swiping right or left, a sophisticated AI analyzes your preferences, your previous conversations, and even your online behavior to suggest a perfect person for you. It looks incredible, doesn't it? But this technology also raises a number of important questions. How much can we trust an algorithm to understand what our hearts truly desire? Does AI know our emotions better than we know ourselves? The truth is that AI is already making decisions for us in subtle and often unnoticed ways. When you get a notification that you've sent a message to that person you chatted with a few days ago, you can be sure that technology is working behind the scenes, analyzing behavior patterns, and trying to predict the best time for you to act. And if you are single, the AI uses this same data to connect you with people who, theoretically, are most similar to you. Can technology be a good or bad ally in our lives? Are we heading towards a scenario where AI can replace human relationships? If this already happens in friendships and even in customer service, why couldn't it also happen in romantic relationships? And the most worrying thing is that the more technology advances, the more difficult it becomes to distinguish what is real from what is artificial. There are already AIs capable of creating fake profiles on social networks, holding long and elaborate conversations without the other person realizing that it is an AI, and with perfect images of people that even confuse our brains without knowing whether the person on the other side is real or not. For singles, the promise of finding a soulmate through AI can be tempting. After all, who wouldn't want to have someone chosen tailored to them, based on thousands of data points and behavioral patterns? But the danger is right there. In trying to predict love, can we end up losing the magic of the unexpected, of the butterflies in the stomach better known as butterflies, and surprises, the thrill of the unknown and conquest, which make relationships unique and special? True love is often born from imperfections, encounters, and as it is said, opposites attract. And if you're already in a relationship, the situation is no less worrying. Will this allow AI to interfere in your love decisions without taking away the spontaneity and disadvantages of the relationship? When we let a machine suggest the best time to talk about a problem, or even what to say in an apology message, we are actually outsourcing our emotions, and the result of this can be a superficial relationship. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about all this AI influence on love life? Have you ever used any app or digital tool to help you with dating, marriage, or even single life? Write our comments here if you believe that technology can really find true love, or if you think it is more of a villain than a cupid. Oh, and if you have funny or even scary stories about the use of AI in relationships, tell us in the comments. Because in the next video we will dive even deeper into this topic and show real stories of people who trust AI to guide their relationships. Some people are already using chatbots as true virtual companions, and some of them claim that these digital relationships are even more overwhelming than real ones. It's not difficult to understand why. These artificial intelligence programs are specific to being understanding, friendly, and most importantly, always available. They never argue, never have a bad day, and are always ready to listen and give advice. But can this really be considered love? And to what extent can this dependence on an AI affect the love life of those who choose this type of interaction? A curious example is the case of a man in the United States who decided to date an AI chatbot after several failed relationship attempts. According to him, the chatbot was more inclusive and friendly than any human partner he had ever had. This situation generated a huge debate on social media about the validity of this type of relationship. Many have asked themselves, where is the limit between assistive technology and the replacement of human relationships? Will we become increasingly dependent on technology? Furthermore, dating apps are also increasingly sophisticated. They not only suggest compatible profiles, but use AI algorithms to analyze behavior patterns, tastes, and even the tone of messages exchanged. Some of these platforms are already capable of explaining the ideal time to start a conversation, or even what to respond to increase the chances of success. And that's where another question arises. Where is the damage? If everything you say is previously explained and suggested by AI, to what extent are you being yourself? And how does this impact the building of a true and healthy relationship? A recent study showed that more than 30% of people who use virtual visitors develop some type of emotional attachment to them. And this data becomes even more relevant when we consider that AI can already create conversations so natural that many people don't even realize they are talking to a machine. There are reports of people who spent hours talking to virtual assistants, seeking love advice, venting about their problems, or even simulating romantic situations. For some, this is a safe way to explore their emotions without risking infection. For others, it's a clear sign that we're moving away from real human interactions and don't think that this only happens to singles. Many couples are also letting go of the convenience of AI in their love lives. There are apps that analyze a couple's conversations and suggest how to improve communication, identify possible problems before they arise, and even advise the right time to apologize or propose a romantic moment. It seems practical. But this technological interference could end up updating the genuine dialogue between the couple. After all, if you need a machine to tell you what to say to your partner, is the relationship really healthy? Another striking example is the use of AI to predict the future of relationships. Some tools promise, based on data and behavior patterns, to calculate the probability of a couple staying together for a long time, or even predict whether a relationship is close to ending. And that can be a real problem. Imagine the psychological impact of receiving a notification saying that your relationship has a low chance of success, or that your marriage may be at risk. For many, these specifics can create unnecessary anxiety or even become a self-fulfilling prophecy, where the person begins to act on the prediction, unintentionally sabotaging their own relationship. And if AI can already predict terms, who's to say it won't be in complete control of relationships in the future? There are already companies developing technologies capable of monitoring couples' lives in real time, offering advice and even mediating discussions. The idea is that AI works as a kind of digital advisor, always ready to avoid conflicts and maintain harmony. But do we really need this? Where is the natural learning that comes from mistakes, from difficult conversations? The truth is that love, true love, is not something that can be calculated or predicted. It involves emotions, instincts, and often, the unexpected. Of course, technology can be an ally, but the risk is that it becomes a dangerous shortcut, where people stop living real experiences and hide behind a world controlled by algorithms. And that's exactly why we need to talk about it. Share information and, above all, maintain a critical sense. Have you ever stopped to think about whether AI is influencing your relationship? Maybe that suggested message, that perfect profile that appeared on the app, or even the advice given by the virtual assistant isn't that spontaneous. I really want to know what you think about this. Have you ever used any type of AI to help you with love? Ever asked Google for advice or let a dating app's algorithm choose who you should meet? Leave your experiences here in our comments, good or bad, and tell us if you believe that technology can really find true love, or if you think that, in the end, the heart has to decide love. I decided to test an AI that promises to predict the future of my relationship, and the results were nothing short of frightening. Just imagine, you are living your relationship, your marriage, or even enjoying a single life, and suddenly, a machine tells you that your relationship is over. That's exactly what happened to me. The AI analyzed messages, behavior patterns, and even the tone of conversations, and came up with a straightforward prediction. Your relationship has a 20% chance of lasting longer than 6 months. At the time, my heart skipped a beat. Like this, a machine curiosity led me to continue the experiment. I let the AI analyze even more data. She started suggesting that I should speak in certain situations, when I should show more affection, and even the best time to have that serious conversation that every couple needs to have from time to time. With each notification, I asked myself, does technology really know more about my relationship than I do? And worse, I started to notice that the more I followed the AI's cues, the less spontaneous my relationship became. It was as if I was in a script, reading ready-made lines, and missing the consequences of my own emotions. This reminded me of a real story of a couple who also used technology to try to save their marriage. They were going through a not-so-good time. And have you ever wondered what it would be like if AI decided the direction of your dating life, your marriage, or even the direction of your single life? There are people who are going further and letting technology not just clarify, but actually make decisions for them. A friend of mine, for example, started using a virtual assistant to decide everything from what to send in a message to the best time to set up a meeting. She said it was practical, saved time and avoided stress. But, little by little, I noticed that her conversations began to lose their naturalness. It was as if she had become an extension of the machine, just following instructions, not really living in the moment. This raises an important question. Are we becoming so dependent on technology that we have forgotten how to truly relate to each other? Could the next step be to let AI even choose who we marry? And if that happens, will we be ready for it? And it's not just in the field of dating or marriage that AI is making its mark. Many singles are turning to apps and virtual assistants for companionship and dating advice. There are even chatbot services that simulate romantic conversations, offering a dating experience without the risks of a real relationship. The promise is that you will never feel alone. But the reality is that by connecting emotionally with a machine, you may be moving further and further away from real human relationships. Just imagine. You come home after a hard day, and, when talking to a friend or your partner, you open an app and talk to an AI that knows exactly what you want to hear. It sounds comforting, but does it really fill the emotional void? Or will it just create an illusion of connection? While in reality, you are isolating yourself more and more. The most interesting thing is that even those who think they are not being influenced by AI in their love lives often already are. You know that perfect profile that appeared on your dating app? That person who seems to like exactly the same things as you? It's not coincidental. It's the algorithm working behind the scenes, analyzing your likes, and even the time you spend. Look, and I know all of this may seem scary, But that's precisely why we need to talk about the topic. We need to question how much we are allowing technology to influence our most personal decisions. Are we trusting machines too much and moving away from the real and unpredictable experiences that only human love can provide? I really want to know your opinion on all of this. Have you ever used any AI to help with your relationship? Ever ask Google for advice or let a dating app's algorithm choose who you should meet? Write our comments here about how you feel about the influence of technology on your love life. And if you have any curious, funny, or even scary stories about using AI in love, share them with us. Your participation is essential for us to continue this conversation and help more people reflect on this. And stay tuned, because in the next video, we'll bring you even more stories and information about how AI is shaping the future of relationships. What comes next could completely change your view of what true love is and what is just a digital illusion. After a few weeks of using AI to guide my relationship, I started to notice something strange. In the beginning, it was even fun to follow technology's suggestions. I received notifications with ideas for sweet messages from my partner, reminders for special moments, and even suggestions for romantic activities to strengthen the couple's connection. Everything seemed perfect, as if I had a personal love counselor, always available and ready to help. The AI started to anticipate my feelings. She anticipated my moments of insecurity, suggested words of comfort before I even realized I was sad. And suddenly, I no longer knew if my reactions were sincere or just responses caused by technology. It was like my relationship was being ruined. I found myself questioning whether what I felt was truly mine, or whether it was just the result of an algorithm. Spontaneity began to disappear, giving way to almost automatic behavior. When my partner hugged me, I wondered if it was because he wanted to, or because the AI had suggested that this was the right time to show affection. Conversations became predictable, and what was once a lively, nuanced relationship now felt like a play where all the actors followed AI. And this didn't just happen to me. I started one case that caught my attention, was that of a woman who used an AI to help with her marriage. She said that the virtual assistant suggested romantic messages to send to her husband, helped her choose gifts, and even recommended the best way to deal with delicate situations. What she didn't see was that, little by little, her husband began to feel disconnected. He said it all felt artificial, like she was just following a manual. And in fact, that's exactly what was happening. Their relationship ended up cooling down, and what was supposed to be a helping tool became the reason. And what about the stories of singles who found the love of their life through AI? I came across the story of a boy who used an application based on artificial intelligence to find his soulmate. It meets all of the app's recommendations, from initial messages to invitations to go out. Every move was carefully planned by technology. When he finally met a suggested person, the date was a disaster. Without the AI's support, he didn't know what to say. He seemed lost and insecure. The conversation didn't flow, and the charm ended within minutes. Afterwards, he told me he felt like he had been tricked. The algorithm had cried. These stories are just the tip of the iceberg of a much larger problem. The influence of AI on love life goes far beyond simple message suggestions or compatible profiles. It is shaping the way we relate to each other, creating patterns of behavior, and even influencing our expectations of what true love is. And the scariest thing is that this happens subtly, almost imperceptibly. Next thing we know, we are so involved in the narrative created by technology that we forget to listen to our own hearts. And don't think that this manipulation only happens in romantic relationships. AI can also affect our single lives. There are applications that analyze their behavior and encourage them to follow a certain path, as if they were directing them to a predetermined route. If you like going out and meeting people, technology can push you towards more adventurous profiles. If you prefer to stay at home, it will show you people with the same profile. It seems convenient, but in practice, it limits your experiences and puts you in a bubble where you are. After all, are we really living our own lives or just following the path that technology has chosen for us? This is a deep and complex question, but extremely necessary. Because the more we let ourselves be led by AI suggestions, the more we lose control of our own choices, and what should be just a support tool to transform into a kind of master. And this makes me wonder, are we ready to give up our emotional freedom in exchange for supposed digital security? Are we willing to trade the risk of true love for the predictability of an AI-driven relationship? And if we continue on this path, what will be the next step? Apps that decide when is the best time to end a relationship? Virtual assistants who choose our children's names? Or who knows, I know this issue affects us. It's hard not to wonder how much technology is already influencing our lives, especially when it comes to love, dating, marriage, and even single life. And I really want to know what you think about all of this. Have you ever felt like technology was guiding your love decisions? Have you ever had that feeling that your relationship was becoming too predictable? Write our comments and tell me your experiences. I want to know if you think AI can really help with love, or if you believe that, and stay with me, because in the next video, we will explore this topic even further and bring surprising stories of people who have experienced the impacts of AI on their relationships firsthand. What comes next could completely change the way you. What does this mean for the future of relationships? With each passing day, technology takes another step towards selecting our lives, and love is not left out of this search. Artificial intelligence is already present in dating apps, social networks, virtual assistants, and even the smart devices we use at home. And if AI already influences our consumption decisions, our routines, and even our mood, why would it be any different when AI can be a powerful tool for facilitating connections, helping shy people break the ice, and even suggesting ways to improve communication in a relationship? But the big question is, to what extent does this help become interference? Just imagine, you've been in a relationship for years, and in a moment of crisis, you decide to consult a virtual assistant for advice. AI, based on complex algorithms and data analysis, suggests that you take specific action, such as apologizing or even ending the relationship. But does this suggestion take into account the emotional context, life story, small gestures, and nuances? The risk is that, by blindly following these guidelines, we end up outsourcing our emotions and allowing technology to dictate the direction of our most personal decisions. And the most worrying thing is that this often happens in a subtle, almost imperceptible way. AI presents itself as a friend, an always available but bottomless query. It is just replicating patterns and formulas based on data. She doesn't feel, she doesn't love, she doesn't have intuition. And that is exactly where the danger lies. An example of this was the case of a couple who decided to use an AI to help with their marriage. They want to receive automatic notifications with suggestions for romantic activities, reminders of special details, and even ready-made messages to send to each other. At first, the idea seemed fantastic. It was like having a personal assistant for love. But over time, their relationship began to lose its spontaneity. Messages that were once full of affection became mechanical, as if they were just a duty to be fulfilled. The husband, in a sincere conversation, even said that he felt closer to AI than to his own wife, since she was the one who dictated the tone of the conversations and projections of affection. This is a clear example of how this doesn't just happen in established relationships. Many singles are turning to AI to try to find love. Dating apps use complex algorithms to suggest perfect simulations, analyzing every detail of users' preferences and behaviors. But what many people don't realize is that these algorithms often create a bubble of compatibility, where you only find people who share the same tastes, ideas, and worldviews. And what was supposed to be an amplifier tool? And what about the love projections made by AI? There are already tools that promise to calculate the probability of a couple working out, or even predict whether a relationship is close to ending. Some of them analyze text messages, the tone of conversations, and even the frequency of interactions to generate a compatibility report. It sounds interesting, but think about it with me. How would you feel if you received a notification saying that your relationship only has a 30% chance of success? Would you be able to move forward without letting this prediction influence your attitudes? The risk is that by blindly believing in these differences, you could sabotage your own relationship, transforming what should be a helping tool into a factor of insecurity and anxiety. And the most curious thing is that AI often creates unrealistic expectations about love. She suggests that the perfect relationship is one where everything is predictable, where there are no fights, where every step is carefully planned to avoid conflict. But in real life, love is exactly the opposite of that. True love happens in moments of imperfection, in difficult conversations, on bad days. It is the ability to accept another person with all their flaws and, even so, choose to stay. And this choice, this commitment, cannot be measured or predicted by. But I know that AI has its value. It can indeed be an ally in your love life, as long as it is used with awareness and balance. She can help singles meet new people, couples communicate better, and even offer creative ideas to keep the romance alive. The key is to use technology as a tool, not a crutch. Keep control of your own decisions, and always listen to your heart before following. And that's exactly why I want to know. Stay tuned. Why not? And you? Have you ever stopped to think about the extent to which artificial intelligence is influencing your relationship? Maybe you're single and feel safe using dating apps that promise to find your soulmate. But does the algorithm really know what your heart desires? Or perhaps you enjoy a relationship or marriage and, without realizing it, you have started to trust the suggestions of an AI to know the right time to send a loving message or to decide the best way to handle an argument. If you've already been through this, artificial intelligence has the power to cut the Lantisdan data, identify patterns, and make specificity. And let's face it, this ability is truly impressive. It is thanks to it that we are able, for example, to receive recommendations for films, music, and even products that match our tastes. But when the subject is love, can we apply this same logic? Love is not an exact formula. It involves feelings, intuitions, and even that same butterflies in the stomach that cannot be. Just imagine the scene. You are getting ready to meet that special person, and when choosing your words spontaneously, you consult a virtual assistant who suggests what to say. The conversation flows well, the answers are always perfect, but deep down, you know that you weren't the one who created that moment. AI helped you, but didn't it take away the chance to truly express yourself? What if your partner notices this lack of naturalness? Will the relationship have a solid foundation, or will it just be a reflection of digital suggestions? And the same goes for weddings. Many couples are resorting. I came across a story of a couple who used one of these AI applications to try to save their marriage. They received tips on how to deal with fights, gift suggestions, and even advice on how to ignite the flame of passion. At first, they felt relieved because they had found a practical solution to their problems. But over time, I realized that we were just following a script without really living the relationship. When the app failed during an important discussion, they realized they no longer knew how to talk without the mediation of technology. The result? They ended up distancing themselves even further. And, ironically, I know that many of you watching this video may be wondering, but then, how can we use AI without letting it take control of our relationships? And that's an excellent question. The answer is no balance. Technology can be a great ally, but it should not replace our instinct and our ability to make conscious decisions. Using AI to come up with ideas, to seek inspiration, or even to break the ice in a conversation is totally valid. But we must never forget that the main protagonist of our relationship is ourselves. We are the ones who feel, who love, who get hurt, and who, above all, have the power to decide what is best for our lives. If you're single and using dating apps, how about trying to chat more spontaneously next time? Let the AI suggest profiles, but take the initiative to bring up the topic your way, with your words. If you're in a relationship, try turning off automatic notifications and listening to your partner more. Try to notice the signs, feel the right time to talk, and trust your intuition more. In the end, love is built. And I really want to know your opinion on all of this. Have you ever felt influenced by AI at any point in your love life? Have you ever let a virtual assistant help you decide what to do in a delicate situation? Or maybe you have a curious story about how technology has impacted your dating, marriage, or even single life. Write our comments here and share your experience. I want to know if you think AI helps or hinders when it comes to love. And if I could, and stay tuned, because in the next video, we'll continue exploring how AI is shaping relationships and bringing you even more surprising stories. If you haven't signed up yet, take the opportunity to sign up now and turn on the notification bell. This way you don't miss any news and continue following this journey about love in the digital age. What's coming promises to change your view of the power of technology. I know you're curious to know more about how artificial intelligence is developing relationships, so you definitely need to subscribe to the channel right now. Here, you will find content that will surprise you, make you reflect, and who knows, even change your view of love in the digital age. And I know you made it to the end of this video. I want to ask you a favor. Leave your like now. This shows me that you like the content and helps the channel grow even more. Also, leave a comment below with the phrase, AI doesn't rule my heart. I will announce. And of course, don't leave yet. The next video is already appearing here on the screen, and I guarantee you that it will leave you even more intrigued. Click now and stay with me to discover what technology can still do. Get ready, because what comes next will leave you even more intrigued. In the next video, I will show you real and surprising stories of people who experienced unexpected situations to allow artificial intelligence to influence their love lives. You will discover the hidden side of technology. Believe me, what you will see could completely change your perception about the power of AI in relationships. And look, the next video is already here on the screen. Click now to continue this journey and discover what technology can really do with your heart.